So I've been chatting with my therapist for the last, couple years or so since I've been going, and something I realized that might relate to some of you guys, might not, but just something that I talk about it today is signs that you're toxic to yourself. For me, I'm very self-aware on how I treat other people and so on and so forth, but I'm not aware on how I treat myself, on how toxic I am to me. And of course, toxic habits always comes from childhood trauma, right? I mean, it's where everything comes from. It all stems from childhood, right? And I've been going through it, and she gave me some things to look for, like in my day to day life, on what is like toxic to yourself. Okay, so let's get into it. So these are 8 signs that you're toxic to yourself, right? Number one, this one's big. I do this all the time. You apologize a lot, even when the fault isn't yours. I do it all the time. I say I'm sorry for everything that goes on, even if it doesn't even relate to me. I say I'm sorry when it has nothing to do with me. Um, I know some people think that it's like being caring for others, but it's like in reality, when it's in the moment, you put yourself in the situation, and then you somehow think that it involves you, which is why you say I'm sorry too much. Which again, these are just my experiences. I'm just saying that this is what is I've come to realize about myself. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, so this is a big one for me. I've been working on this a lot over the past couple of years. So you keep hanging out with people who treat you badly. Um, Instead of standing up for yourself, you stick around, and they're not good for you, but you stick around anyway. Who you spend your time around is who you're going to become. Like, people say it all the time, like if you hang out with a group of millionaires, like if there's 5 of them and you're number 6, you're more than likely going to become the next millionaire, right? If you hang out with people who do a bunch of drugs and you go join their group, you're more than likely going to become a drug addict. You are the product of your circumstances. So who you spend your time with is who you're gonna become. Number three, this is important to me. Okay, so this is not for everybody. Again, these are what me and my therapist realized about me. Okay, number three, you dress bad, bad posture. Don't take care of yourself. Dressing bad is big. Since I've started to dress a little bit nicer when it comes to work, going out, whatever it is, I just feel good. You feel good, look good. Like that's a real thing. Um, Wrong posture. I've had bad posture for a really long time. It doesn't help. I play video games. I've been playing video games for 20 plus years. I'm hunched over with my controller, right? So that's not going to help with good posture for one. Um, but it's important. It's to be something to be cautious, um, like cautious about, because first impressions are important. So that's a big thing. And don't take care of yourself. Like you don't you don't eat right, you don't take care of your body, like you don't go to the gym, you don't do, like, if you don't, like, I can get really bad acne, so if I don't take care of my face, I'll break out, like stuff like that. If I don't shave, um I don't really need to shave, but if I don't shave, like, um it's just just something you just don't take care of yourself like you should. So that's a big one for me. Number four, you keep checking your phone for messages when there's nothing there. um I did this God, I did this a lot for a really long time, because I always wanted to be, I wanted to be popular, right? I wanted people to reach out to me. I wanted all these things. So I was constantly checking my phone to see if someone messaged me, instead of just keeping my phone down. And also, something that doesn't help with that, like a little carrot, is social media, like with TikTok and everything. Like, if it's fried our dopamine receptors, so we're constantly wanting to, like, if we're in the middle of work, pick up our phone, scroll for a couple minutes, put it down, work for a couple minutes. Like, that's dopamine. You're searching for dopamine, right? So that's another thing into it, is like I fried my dopamine receptors because I was on TikTok for so long, just scrolling mindlessly for hours. So they're fried. They were, excuse me. So that was a big one, is you keep checking phone for messages, notifications, right? Just bullshit that you don't need to do. Number five, um, you take criticism too personally. I think this was when I first started going to therapy, because I was really was really emotional. On my previous past couple, I've talked about not being able to regulate emotions. A lot of people, and I was one of those. I was one of them. Because I couldn't take constructive criticism. I had a really hard time with it because I always thought it was a personal attack. I always thought they were coming after me. So I'd get like I'd listen, but I didn't actually care to actually try and like go to the next level and improve, Um and this goes for anything. This goes for work. This goes for the gym. This goes for just hanging out with friends. Just like criticism is just at the time I had a really hard time with it. So that was a big one for me. Number 6, this one is really hard for me, and I'll explain why. So number 6, you keep comparing yourself with others. So I don't compare myself with people my age. I compare myself with people like 20 years ahead of me, which is the dumbest thing ever. But like people in their 40s when they have like their houses and they have all this blah blah blah, all this materialistic crap. And I'm comparing myself to them when they've got 20 years of experience, 20 years of life on me. Comparison is the absolute thief of joy. Like that's a real thing. Um, Instead of just being me, doing my thing, and going day to day. Um, I've worked on this a lot, but this is definitely something that is still there, still apparent sometimes. Um, Number 7, I've never really. Well, I take that back. I definitely had some experience with this for a little bit. That's why this is on here. You sleep a lot to avoid life. So I used to sleep like 10, 12 hours a day just because I didn't want to go do anything. So I was like, all right, well, I might as well just take a nap. I'd get off of work, take a nap, and then I would just lay in bed, and then scroll. So instead of like going out and experiencing shit, like that's not healthy. Again, that's kind of a carrot into taking care of yourself too. Um, this one I threw in there. This is something I've never had a problem with. You agree with other people's opinions, even when you have a different one. I'm very outspoken. I very much speak my mind, which has definitely gotten me in some trouble. But I have a lot of, or I had a lot of friends that were like this. And then we talk after and be like, oh, actually, I don't agree with that. Instead of just being in the moment and like not, they were trying to run from confrontation instead of just, it could have just been a casual conversation. Like they thought it would escalate into this big thing of like arguments and shit where it's just like, just you don't have to agree on everything. Like that's the point of being different and having different views and and every different opinions. Like you're allowed to disagree. So um either way, I think these are 8 signs you are toxic to yourself. Again, these are 8 signs for me. Again, this is for me. It's something me and my therapist have been working on for a while. Um if any of this resonated with you, leave a comment. Let me know what's going on. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.